Hi, and thanks for logging on to the daily DVAR HALACHA. And here's a brand new halacha for you, and it is for Tuesday, the 12th day of January, the 28th day of Teves. So please note that means you're coming up close to Rosh Chodesh, which is going to be Wednesday night and Thursday, first day of Shvat. Today we're going to hit this halacha. It's important to me. I have this habit when I eat my chicken soup on Shabbos. Here is the question. It's about putting little crumbs of bread into your soup or little crumbs of matzah into your soup. We have a rule that we follow called Ein Bishul Achar Bishul. No cooking happens after cooking. No baking happens after baking, which means your baked bread, you don't have to worry that it's going to get recooked because it's already baked, right? Your bread is not raw, hopefully, and it's been already baked, so you don't have to worry that anything's going to happen to it, even if the soup is hot. But here's the problem. The problem is that even if we say cooking doesn't happen after cooking or baking doesn't happen after baking, that there are opinions that say that cooking could happen after baking and baking could happen after cooking, which means when you take a dry piece of bread, okay, it's been baked and it won't get baked anymore, but if you put it in hot soup, it could get cooked, right? It can't get baked after it's been baked, but it could get cooked after it's been baked. Hope that doesn't sound complicated. So bottom line is, it might be a problem putting your bread or your crumbs of matzah into your hot soup. So bottom line is we're going to end up with good news here, but I want to take you through the journey, short journey, to figure out why it's good news. So I'm going to show you two Mishnah Brewers here, just scrolling to them while I talk. With a klish shlishi, if you're pouring it into a third vessel, mitzaded hapri megadim, in this simon here, the Pri Megadim considers lahakel that maybe we should be lenient if your soup is in a klish shlishi. It's in the third vessel. In other words, it's quite removed from the fire, so it doesn't have that heat that's problematic anymore. A lot of posts can put the heat that's problematic, that could cook stuff, as low as 113. That's not terribly hot, you know. When you have fever, you're 104 or whatever, and 113 is only 10 degrees hotter than fever. So your soup could be that hot, and you're putting bread into it, so why is it okay to do that? Here is the crucial Mishnah Berurah that says that it's okay. The Mishnah Berurah here was talking about people who make a soup, and then they put pieces of bread into their soup, and yes, lizar bazeh, you have to be careful about that. It could be problematic. Elohim rotza litain pas. So he says, if you want to really put bread or matzah into your soup, yam timnad shel lo yehe yatzoleres b'marak. Just wait till your soup's not so hot. But I don't think a lot of you would enjoy that solution, because that means your soup has to be less than 113 degrees, which means your soup's going to be what you would call almost lukewarm. So what should you do if you want to have hot soup and you want to put your bread in it, if we have to worry until it's not yad soledes? So he says we have this option. Shalachol hapachos yishayev bekaf min aktera kedei shetihiyeh hakara kli shlishi. If you take the soup out of the pot with a ladle, then the pot is called the first container, the ladle is called the second container, and then the bowl that you're eating it out of is called the third container. And once you're in the third container, it's a little bit more safe, and you're okay. All right? So putting matzah or bread into your soup bowl, if they're a klish shlishi, is considered okay by this Mishnah Berurah, and that's usually the case because usually regular people have the pot, which is number 1, the ladle, which is number 2, and the bowl, which is number 3, so you're going to be all right. But lastly, he just says, be very careful. I'm running out of time. I have to end by when that thing gets to 0. But you do have to be careful not to put onions and garlic into very hot soup, because if you would do that and it's yad soledes, then the garlic or the onions are actually cooking, and that could be a biblical violation. So do be careful about that if your soup is hot. Thanks for logging on with 8 seconds to go. Log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.